Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to F1 2020 My Team Career Mode here for the Dutch Grand Prix around the Zandvoort circuit. We're jumping straight into the action here at the end of Q1. We've already put in our banker time of 1:11.4 that keeps us in 19th place. We're trying to go faster, so we go through turn 1, we get a massive snap of oversteer there. Heading down to turn 2, fling the car in and get ready for turn 3. Always look up at that corner, run a little bit wide. Bit of a shaky exit going down into this weaving long straight, going up into turn 6, and then we're going to drop down the hill into turn 7, shift down to 7th gear to keep the traction nice. We can go 6th, but that makes the car a bit unstable on exit. Absolutely flick in for the next corner of turns 8, keep it nice and wide for turn 9 to make turn 9 as straight as possible. Good exit going towards turn 10, we want to go into 3rd gear, quickly shift up into 4th gear, lovely exit there, DRS open. We're going to fly down now to turns 11 and 12, very tricky corner to get right. We've got to throw it in. We don't ride the curb as much as we can on the entry to turn 11, the right hander, but we get a nice exit on the exit turn 12. That puts us a 10th up. As we go through turns 13, we actually make up another 2 tenths, so it's going to be nearly 3 tenths up as we cross the line. It's going to be a 1:11.114, but that's only good enough for P18 on the grid. So pretty disappointing performance considering where I expect the car to be. At least I'm expecting now to be challenging for Q2. We'll have to have a look at how far away we were, maybe only a few tenths, but even still I like at this point to be pushing for Q2 appearances, but I do know that my race pace is going to be considerably better, and we should have a good chance of maybe getting into the teens, or at least the top 15, which is kind of what I'm aiming for. Now, this race is a couple of months old. You see there, we're only around a 10th and a half off of Antonio Giovinazzi in P16. It's not a entirely bad qualifying session there. But yes, it's been a long time since I've recorded this episode. Been very busy moving out of home, going to uni, doing all of that, and I just haven't really found time and quiet days to do any YouTube recording. But I'm back. I'm going to be hopefully doing a lot more, depending on how much work I get given. Other news, I've don't know when it'll come out, but I've got some ranked videos sort of in the pipeline that need editing and recording over. And during these ranked videos, I got invited to join a league, FTR, Full Throttle Racing, and I shall be doing videos on those races. I've already done 3 so far. No spoilers. So they're going to be hopefully up at some point, and from that, the league racing sort of sparked a bit more interest. So I've actually not only just joined one league, I'm currently doing 6. We have a real performance racing league where the fastest drivers go in the slower cars and the slowest drivers go in the fastest cars. Cars are on realistic performance. That's very interesting. That is the other league I will endeavour to record more of, and I realise I'm probably talking over the introduction here. Yes, I am. We all know what it is like. Zandvoort, bumpy, fast, real nice drivers circuit. The other leagues have joined WOR, TSRL, WRS and PRF1. I won't be recording those, or at least putting them up onto YouTube, unless something spectacular happens in the races. And so far I've been enjoying it quite a bit, and that's sort of been what's taking the forefront of most of my time really. But anyway, this isn't about the league races, this is about my team career mode. Valtteri Bottas on pole with Lewis Hamilton second. Nice change of pace there between the 2 Mercedes. Obviously they're both on the front row, so nothing changes there. We've got Charles Leclerc in 3rd, Verstappen, Albon, Ricciardo, and then the usual grid just follows after that. Do have a 10 place penalty for Vettel, which drops him down to P13, and a 10 place penalty for Carlos Sainz, which puts him down to P17. Got Kimi Raikkonen behind us. That was a surprise showing from him. I thought the Alfa Romeo would be pretty strong at this track. This is quite a heavy power track. But anyway, we now move on to choosing our strategy. Now, from the league races I've done, I personally believe that the mediums to the hards are the preferred strategy, or at least what I feel more comfortable running. But this was recorded, at least my Grand Prix, my career mode rather, was recorded a while ago. And so we're dabbling thinking about it there, but then I decide we're going to go with the normal strategy, which is actually going to be hard softs. That is the recommended engineer strategy, but I believe the hards will not be as effective as they are at the start as to what they would be at the end. So we're actually going to go softs to hards, pitting around lap 12, and we're going to reduce the amount of fuel. We don't need particularly massive amounts of fuel. We're going to keep it above, but I've realised that this Mercedes engine is actually quite nice on the fuel, so we're going to keep it just under a lap's extra worth of fuel. And once we get into the race, you see Jack Aitken's actually starting on the hard tyres, so a bit alternate strategy here from Chunker's Cam Racing. But anyway, we're getting to the race start, 5 red lights, long hold, very long hold, and away we go. A fantastic start there against Giovinazzi, but he moves across to the right to covers us. Kevin Magnussen sharply moves across the right to cover Giovinazzi. Giovinazzi actually loses a bit of his left end plate, and so too does Russell on the side of my car. We get absolutely swamped here. We've got Aitken and Russell both go around the outside here. Latifi on up our inside, and Russell actually tags our left front tyre there. We get a warning for that because obviously that makes sense. And we do get a bit of damage from that on our left end plate. Not massive amounts of damage. I didn't actually realise until a few laps into the Grand Prix, but as you can see here, Russell on the outside doesn't leaves enough space for Aitken. Realistically I should have backed out there, but I really can't lay the blame on anyone. But anyway, that's hampered us not too much actually. I didn't really feel the effects until I checked, but we're on to the end of lap 1 here. The concertina effects kicked in. Jack Aitken's on the hard tyres compared to everyone on the softs. We absolutely breezed past him on the straight there. And heading into turn 1, we actually run quite wide there. It gives Aitken a little look at the inside. We get on the coast, get a massive snap of oversteer there. And there's some more shenanigans going up in the inside. Proper little scrap going on for the lower placings here. And Norris actually retires from this Grand Prix with some kind of mechanical failure. I stuck to the outside there to avoid Russell. I believe that would have been the faster way to go through that corner, but we actually cut out. End of lap 2, we cut up to both of the Williams who were on the back of George Russell. And we absolutely shoot down the inside of him. Very brave move there because he closed the door, but we went even further to the right than what he did, and quite a nice move there. And now we're going to hunt down his teammate Nicholas Latifi. Might get a good exit out of turn 3, might be able to get him going to turn 7. That is a potential overtaking opportunity against the AI, but nothing actually does of it. But we cut to the end of lap 3, we get DRS, overtakes, standard fuel, don't want to burn off the fuel when we don't need to, we fly past him. And now we've got to chase down Kevin Magnussen and Kimi Räikkönen. As you see on the track map, there's a massive group of cars booked up behind an AlphaTauri. And then there's a big air gap towards the top 10, top 11. But that was it. See here on lap 10, I'm actually checking to see what my tyres like, and I noticed that I've got a yellow front wing. But nothing really happened for that first in. Got a couple of laps till we come in. We've got Ricciardo and Sainz in the pits. Sainz goes onto a set of mediums, which is interesting, which indicates that he will be doing a 2-stop strategy. Ricciardo also goes onto a fresh set of soft compound tyres. That's a tongue twister in itself. We got to lap 12, Ricciardo called to back of us, but it doesn't matter, we were coming, and we're going to change our front wing for this stop, which is going to cost us a couple of positions. You can see some of the Alfa Romeo at the Haas in. The boys in purple. Nice stop there despite the front wing change to be about 9.5 seconds. So pretty decent, and we come out, we are P20 and we're behind Jack, but Jack still has to pit. We're ahead of one of the Williams at least, but now we're on to lap 14, which is the end of the pit window for the softs, and a couple of other people, or anything. Latifi was the only other position we gained there. We've now caught back up to Jack Aitken on lap 15. I was going to say blowing and breezing at the same time. I'm actually breezing through this race. It's a long old race, a bit of a drag. And we'll catch up to Jack, and this is going to be a pretty simple overtake. There aren't any team orders here, It's Chungus Khan Racing, so I'm going to have to fight for this position, but it really isn't going to be a fight with stick up into overtake. We've got DRS, Jack just fights it a little bit, but we've got the inside going for turn 1. Stop the car nice and well, fresher tyres, and we got the inside, and that's P17 for us. Now coming to lap 19, and a very interesting thing here happens. The AI I've seen have made some mistakes like locking up and losing traction on the exit of corners, but not to the extent you're about to see Charles Leclerc lose the back end here. This is something you'd expect from maybe one of the newer drivers or less competitive drivers, such as Stroll or Magnussen or something. He actually loses it on the edge of turn 12. Now turn 12 is a pretty nasty corner to try and put the traction down, but he drops it into the barrier and it gives him front wing damage, which is a very interesting collision. Unfortunately, that doesn't actually yield a retirement or a place for us at the end of the Grand Prix. He manages to fight through that. Whether he... I don't think he pitted, from what I remember he doesn't. But again, on the same lap, we now have Pierre Gasly out of the session. I wonder if there's been more contact up ahead here. Charles Leclerc does actually pit, so I'm guessing for a set of medium compound tyres. And we're going to have a look at what happened to Gasly. So here he is, he's going through turn 10 here, and he actually has an engine failure, the Alpha Tauri. The Honda engine inside that has given up the ghost really, which is strange. Honda did have quite a reliable engine. But that gives us an extra place, which is nice. Now we cut on to lap 27, or start of lap 27. Carlos Sainz is in for another stop. He has done a soft, medium, soft strategy. That's interesting to do a 2-stop here. I don't think that was the right call from Sainz. He has started 17th, but he's managed to not catch us to the back of us as quickly as I was expecting. We've been gaining on Raikkonen and Magnussen throughout the entire second stint here, and now we've got to the last lap. We've got one more chance to get the side of Raikkonen. We absolutely dive it down the inside there, lock up the inside front, a little bit of banging against the side pod, but we managed to make it stick in a relatively clean move there. Probably shocked Raikkonen, most experienced man on the grid there, compared to the least experienced, or one of the least experienced people. It's a lovely move there. Lewis Hamilton wins, Verstappen comes across the line to get fastest lap, but we're not focused on that. This is the last lap of the Grand Prix for us. We're trying to get ahead of Magnussen and maybe Grosjean. Our next opportunity will be down to 10-11, but we've got to make the corners coming up to this work. We know that we should be better than the Haas in the corners at least. Going through turn 10 now. Nice exit, but Magnussen's going to have DRS, and he's got probably a little bit more overtake, so now our main focus becomes on defending from Raikkonen. The Alfa Romeo is insanely quick in a straight line. We're coming up to the final 2 corners here. Raikkonen's 5/10 back. I don't think he's going to be a threat anymore, and still going to mid last cross stick. We're actually ride the curb a little bit too much, and Raikkonen's closing, but we stick up into Rich and overtake. We come across the line with 77% on the front left tyre. We claim P14, I wasn't looking there. Okay, P14 this Grand Prix, gained 4 positions. Pretty short Grand Prix if I'm being honest. It was pretty dull. There were some interesting moments from Leclerc. The start specifically was very good, but aside from that, not really much, just a bit of a grind really.
Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. Let's have a quick look at how the drivers
So Lewis Hamilton wins ahead of Valtteri Bottas. Pretty close race between them, only finishing 1.7 seconds behind. Albon picks up his first F1 podium.
focus on the driver of the
Vettel has a fantastic drive from P13 to finish P5. Raikkonen also P20 to P15. We come P14. Jack Aitken improves one position to get P18. All these minor places are going to become crucial for both the drivers and the constructors races. We keep hold of P14 in the drivers' standings and P9 in the constructors. Our aim really, I think I said this last episode, but I can't remember what it was, probably to be best of the rest. So P7 in the drivers and P4 or P5 in the constructors. But we're going to have a look at the start here. These ways you see end plates flying everywhere from Giovinazzi and Russell, myself included. You see here Aitken swiping across us. That doesn't actually give us any visual damage. We do get a little bit of bodywork scratched out the side of the car there on the left hand side, so the damage might have come from somewhere else, or it just could have been a mistake I made. But Giovinazzi there, interesting collision that was. I think he went a bit too eager into the first corner, didn't make it stick. See there, it's a bit of Alfa, I think that's the Alfa Romeo's front wing, or then yes it will be, just smacking both of our cars. I run quite wide here, it makes it fall like this at the first corner. That hampers me, Russell and Aitken. You see Aitken, I'd say there was enough room there. Maybe a bit of immaturity from both myself and Aitken. And then if we go to lap 2 here, we see a kerfuffle go with three cars wide up ahead. One of the Haas's, I think that's maybe Giovinazzi or Raikkonen and Norris. Oh, that might be Sainz. I'm not entirely sure who it is. I think that's Giovinazzi going to the pits there, so this would be Raikkonen going around the outside. I think Magnussen. He goes around the outside of Sainz. And Sainz gets the better of them. We see Lando Norris slowing up ahead, getting in the way. They're nearly taking Raikkonen out, which is interesting. And there you go, Norris is sticking to the inside, which is where I would like to be on that corner, but I stuck to the outside to give myself a clear run down. And that was it. That was the race really. We're beating Giovinazzi in the rivalry, which is always nice. 10-8 with 5 races remaining. Our team acclaim's getting boosted quite a lot. Good performances from myself and Jack Aitken. Nearly at Team McLean's level 7. We don't achieve a top 10 finish during the race, but we do manage to complete over 70 laps. I think that's the other one, during the race weekend between the both of us, both finishing the race, so we get a nice bonus there. And now we're going to assign the activities. We've only got 2 days worth of activities. We've got weight training, power, team building, and a sponsor event. I think I go for the sponsor event if I remember correctly. I'll have to see here. Oh no, I'll go for the weight training to give Jack a bit extra skill to become a decent teammate. So we're going to be fighting the midfield soon, so we're going to need a good second driver behind us. We don't do any upgrades, or we don't have enough money to purchase anything for the facilities, but we advance forward to Spain, and we will end up doing a couple of R&D upgrades. You see, we're quite close to AlphaTauri. We're going to do a weight redistribution upgrade. We're going to be focusing heavily on the chassis and also the aero. Our aero is quite good, but I want to continue focusing on that, so I think we might do a drag reduction upgrade. Yes, we do, and that will come on for Canada, I think. Yeah, maybe Canada or maybe Azerbaijan, one of those races. But anyway, pretty short and dull episode here, I've got to say. Let's hope that the next Grand Prix, which will be the Spanish Grand Prix, is considerably better. A interesting track for me, the Spanish Grand Prix. I can tell from the race I didn't really enjoy it that much, but from league racing I absolutely love it, so it'll be interesting. I don't remember what happened in the Spanish Grand Prix, so we're going on a journey together to see what happens. It might surprise myself, but who knows. Let's say thank you so much for watching. I apologise for the month since the last episode, but if you did enjoy this episode, are excited for the rest of this 2020 My Team Career Mode at Season 1, please do leave a like and subscribe to see plenty more F1 videos, and I'll see you all later.